as my Canadian girlfriend needs to say.
All right. Anyway, welcome to the best football podcast in the world. Hosted by me, obviously. We got Jordan filling in for Tyler tonight, representing the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got a lot of news and some stuff to go over today, guys. But how we doing today on this Saturday? Changing the schedule up a little bit and not having the show at like 3 a.m. feels good.
On a Wednesday morning. We did switch over to the time slot
Saturdays
at 6:45, 7 p.m. Eastern. Make it a little bit easier for people and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Having to maybe sacrifice. We do appreciate y'all tuning in as late as you did.
What's up, brother?
But we decided to make things a little bit easier for everybody and reschedule to a more suitable time where more people have the opportunity to tune in. They're not sacrificing their bedtime, so they have to be at work.
Sacrificing their bedtime.
From here on out, this will be our new time slot. So
yeah, and Tyler couldn't be with us tonight because he's having the time of his life at a Christmas party or something.
I messaged him. He hasn't been.
But trust me, Tyler is very excited about how good the Green Bay Packers have been looking. Beat the Rams last week, so shout out to him and Aaron Rodgers still doing his thing and all of that. So we got some stuff to talk about today, guys. I know we don't really cover college football a whole lot, but obviously there were some moves with the coaching carousel. First move I want to talk about is with Lincoln Riley going to USC. I think I thought it was crazy. Like, I didn't really see him leaving from Oklahoma. Like, I really didn't. If you would have told me he would have taken the USC job, I probably wouldn't have said that he would, but he did. And with Oklahoma going to the SEC, it kind of makes more sense than I initially thought it would. Because you got to look at it from this perspective. Lincoln Riley is setting himself up to have the easiest road to go to the college football playoffs. If you're in the SEC, obviously LSU is there, and not to mention Alabama and Georgia who are playing today. There's a lot of good quality programs that's in that conference, and that's why everyone says that it's a gauntlet in a sense. No pun intended with that, but it makes it a lot easier for him. You're in Southern California, the weather's nice, everybody loves being in Los Angeles, all that kind of stuff. So it's easy to recruit, and it's the easiest road for him to be going to the playoffs, just because the Pac-12 is, let's face it, not that great. So those are pretty much my thoughts on everything, but obviously a lot of Oklahoma Sooner fans are pretty pissed.
Yes, I can understand them being pretty pissed. I thought that he would stay there. He essentially got handed the keys to a shiny new Cadillac when Bob Stoops left. And I actually kind of thought that, this would really kind of be the time for him to really elevate, because the last of Bob Stoops was gone. Everybody on the squad now is Lincoln Riley. But I was reading an article about this, and I'm going to bring up some points in that same article. And that is that, you are right, James. It may be an easier road to the college football playoffs, but you also have to realize that the Pacific 12 will be taken more seriously again when USC is good again. And he's that guy that can do it. Also, keep in mind, it's a recruiting thing as well. It's a little bit easier to recruit within the 50-mile radius of the Los Angeles area than having to compete with the rest of Oklahoma, the state of Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana. You see what I mean? So recruiting's going to be easier for him as well. I'm not blaming him for that. I'm not blaming him for the move. And then also, he probably took a look around and was like, you know what? Big 12 title is my peak here. I gotta go elsewhere. So I know that's disheartening to Sooner fans, but I'm not terribly mad at the move. I'm not mad at it at all. We'll just see how it works out for him, because distinctly remember a coach who swore up and down he was loyal to Tennessee and bolted for that same school after 1 year, and things didn't turn out too good. Then again, some people may say that Lincoln Riley is a better coach than Lane Kiffin. It is what it is. But overall, I wasn't mad about the move.
It's USC. I mean, the current state of their program is not what it should be and what it historically is, but USC football is like it's the comparison that was made for the Knicks in basketball. College football is better when USC is relevant, just like the NBA is better when the Knicks are relevant.
Right.
Okay.
I would have taken that job too. He didn't want that SEC smoke.
That's pretty much what I think too. But it's pretty crazy, man. But Jordan, you got any thoughts on that? Okay. I got you. I don't really either, but I do a little bit. Anyway, Lincoln Riley going to USC was definitely kind of outfield. But now, let's actually talk about the guy. Let's talk about the man of the hour. And that man is Brian Kelly. Holy shit. LSU, I really thought LSU wouldn't hire someone like that. This is another move I didn't really see happening. But this is fucking crazy. His contract is so ridiculous. He's getting, what all is he getting? It's a $75,000 bonus if LSU appears in SEC championship, $150,000 if they win the SEC championship, and if LSU wins a national title, he gets a $500,000 bonus. He also receives 2 courtesy vehicles or 2 car allowances of $1,000 a month, along with an interest-free home loan up to $1.2 million to buy a house. So it's fucking insane. Is this guy really worth all of that? Obviously, coaching with Notre Dame, they're not affiliated, and we were talking about this earlier off screen. They're not affiliated with a conference or anything, so they don't really play a bunch of great teams. They pretty much play mostly ACC teams and maybe a few other teams here and there. But, this guy's going to be going up against the real dogs. It's kind of like what we were just saying with Lincoln Riley. He didn't want to go to the SEC or whatever because the big dogs are in the SEC. Bama's in the SEC. All these great teams are here. So what's he going to do? Louisiana State is a good program and everything, but, you got to be ready for this shit. You got to be ready for this shit, and I don't think that he is. I don't.
You have to be
worse here than Tucker would have been. Let me ask you all.
I mean, you have to be ready for it, but I will tell you this much is you have to give him a little bit of credit because while people say Lincoln Riley ran from the SEC, Brian Kelly ran to the SEC. And the crazy part about it is that everybody knows Notre Dame's record versus the SEC bowls. So I looked at it as if you can't beat them, join them type of deal. Now we'll say this much, and Brian Kelly does have one thing going in his favor. He is the winningest coach in Notre Dame history. That you cannot take away. That factored into a lot of why LSU coached him. But I feel like he's in a better environment definitely than at Notre Dame, and he has a real shot at competing for an SEC championship and a national championship as well. We'll just have to see what happens as far as recruiting. We'll have to see what happens as far as the style on the field, how the offense going to look, how the defense going to look. It's all fresh, it's all brand new. But because he's been in the game a long, long time, he has the win that he does, it kind of gives him a leg up. LSU's falling on semi-hard times because don't forget, just 2 years ago they were national champions. But I think that this would be a fast turnaround. Consider they lost all those guys in 2019 to the draft. And if you saw LSU this year, well, maybe in a year or two, LSU could be back up that fast because of Brian Kelly. Remains to be seen, but that's my thoughts on it.
Did they give him so much money that they won't panic if he goes 3 for 2 years and color him like they do with Orgeron? Because I think that's why Bill Tucker didn't take the job.
If Kelly is fired without cause, LSU will owe him 90% of his remaining salary. However, if he is fired without cause, after winning a national championship, he will receive his entire remaining salary, including any longevity bonuses he earned. LSU will not have to pay Kelly if he is fired with cause. So if he pulls a John Gruden, they don't have to pay him.
Right. So this is basically like any sort of major university rule or violation or NCAA.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. I kind of just really feel bad for the players though, because obviously this came out of like left field. Like he didn't say anything. He didn't address the team. He kind of like pretty much just left. And and that was the biggest thing with Notre Dame. They actually promoted their defensive coordinator to take over as the head coach. There was actually a video of the offensive coordinator of Notre Dame talking to the players, and he was basically like, yeah, like I know this was really surprising for everybody, but this is I love this program and all this other stuff. He said all the good stuff, and they're actually staying put, which I kind of do respect. There's no such thing as loyalty in sports, but you do see it a little bit, and that's kind of why that's what I took away from it, and I like seeing that kind of stuff. Like he's riding with the program, he's riding with the guys that are there. Brian Kelly didn't say anything. He just was like, you know what, I'm running to the money, and that's it.
Right.
And is it even much better of a job than Notre Dame though?
Well, I think I would say yeah, it is. Just because you can probably recruit better players there than you can with Notre Dame and everything like that. They've had success even when they had Les Miles. They had some good seasons there as well. So I think it's I do think it's a better job, but he still could have just been like, look guys, like it's a better opportunity for me, and I'm gonna take it. And would have had a little more respect if he did it that way. But the way he kind of handled it, in my opinion, was a little unprofessional.
At least now we don't have to worry about Notre Dame trying to crawl into the playoffs and then get jail sex in the first round, or worse, a title game.
Well, that might happen if they get in. We don't know how the rest of the conference championships are going to play out. Pretty sure Michigan and Iowa are getting ready to play, so that game will be something to watch.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it with the college talk. Other than the college football playoffs, obviously, biggest thing we saw Alabama just pretty much. Yeah, Alabama's up 41-24 with 2 minutes left, so yeah, the game's pretty much over. Everyone been hyping up Georgia for the whole year. Personally, I thought Georgia was going to win this game. I thought what was going to happen is Georgia was going to win, Alabama was going to lose, and then Alabama was going to still be in the playoffs with 2 losses. And then whenever they met again, I thought Alabama was going to beat them the second time. But now it's looking more like if Georgia has to play Alabama for a second time, they're just overmatched. They can't like Nick Saban is different. He's 24, after today he's 25-1 all time against like all his assistant coaches. Kirby Smart was obviously one of his assistant coaches. He just prepared. His preparation is just different. It's like trying to go up against Bill Belichick. If you make any of the littlest mistakes, he's gonna exploit it, and you're gonna get your ass whooped. And that's pretty much what happened today. So Georgia, I think, will probably be able to beat teams like Cincinnati if they're in. Maybe someone like Notre Dame or someone like that. But if they play Alabama in the championship, Alabama's going to win.
I can't sit through another Alabama championship.
It's going to
happen. Football.
Thanks,
Georgia.
I really didn't think Georgia was going to win the title anyway. It just kind of because they're Georgia. You know, when have we ever been able to count on them to like perform at this level? The answer is we haven't. You know, even the last time that they played in the SEC championship, I think that they were up for a while, and then, you know, Alabama came back. Obviously, Alabama came back in the championship the year before. So, you know, Georgia is just not a team that performs like on this stage. They just don't, and they never have.
I've been saying it for years. Like they're at the hump, and they can't get over it.
It's almost like in order for Georgia to win a national championship, they have to not play Bama. They have to dodge Bama.
And they're not going to be able to do that now. Because Georgia will still get in. They'll still get in. They're not going to be left out. But Alabama's definitely getting in. And
even in one year, Alabama, look what happened. Like, because Georgia really beat.
Nobody really like the SEC. The SEC East is not really good if you think about it. Florida, maybe some other. I think Arkansas was pretty decent this year, but you know, if Arkansas is like your best win, I mean, what do you want me to say?
I was just on Joseph Jenkins' post about this because I was like, wait a second. It seems like, you know what? Georgia got exposed. They haven't really played anybody this year. So I said, so then this should deaden all the SEC from top to bottom talk, right? Because
the only people that are SEC fans.
Yes.
I'm going to pull up Georgia's schedule real quick.
It's Bama and everybody else.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So let's see. They beat Clemson, who really had a down year. They beat Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas was pretty decent this year. So they beat them. I guess that was a good win. Auburn, okay win. Kentucky, Florida, Missouri, Tennessee, obviously. Like, a lot of these teams just aren't that good.
All those second tier also ran. That are ranked. Yeah. At some point early in the season.
Yeah, I also think that Georgia. I also feel like Georgia kind of is missing a golden opportunity now, because when you look at it, Clemson is really, really having a down year. Ohio State might not get in. So it's usually Bama, Ohio State, and Clemson. They're always in every year, but this year only Bama's going to be in. So it's kind of it's a lot easier for you to win the championship.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Easy.
Georgia, even when everything goes right for Georgia, they still find a way to fuck it up.
Yeah.
That's Georgia.
That's Georgia, and I guess that's it for the college talk. So, guys, let's actually talk about some news that was happening in the NFL. And Jordan, I know that you're a big fan of Antonio Brown. But Mr. AB got busted with his fake vaccine card, which was a pretty funny story. And, you know, I don't know. The funny story about it is that he had some beef with his chef, no pun intended. Like, and his chef apparently got pissed and, like, pretty much snitched on him for having a fake vaccine card. So now he got in trouble with the NFL.
Oh, boy.
That dude's gonna come up.
It's pretty fucking funny. And like the freezing cold takes. They posted like this picture from like a long time ago, like before the season, where it said like the Tampa Bay Bucks are 100% fully vaccinated team. Are they? But yeah, man, it actually is a federal offense to like use a fake vaccine card. But yeah, I mean, that's not the situation you really want to put yourself in. Even with the Aaron Rodgers situation, which we talked about like a couple weeks ago, it's different because everyone in the Packers organization already knew about Aaron Rodgers' situation, and the NFL already knew about his status. The NFL did not know about Antonio Brown. So that's really the biggest difference between the two things. So, honestly, it's not like... I'm not gonna make a huge deal about it, but come on, bro. Like you gotta do your shit right. You gotta do better.
Absolutely. I mean, the way that they have been cracking down as far as COVID protocols, you would think that they know by now, especially somebody with and you know what? It's just like if somebody has dirt on them, don't piss them off.
And he pissed off the wrong chef.
Why would you tell your chef?
What's the life?
It's almost
What's
like
up, buddy?
his chef said, "Oh, really? Okay, cook your own shit now." Oh, by the way, he's fake, man.
You gonna answer that?
I'll be right back.
I was like, what
It's
the
all
hell?
good. I knew it. I didn't know whose phone it was, but go ahead. Continue what you're saying.
But no, basically, it's like y'all know the protocols, y'all know what it is as far as the NFL and how COVID goes. Like y'all have to abide by it. If you want to get on the field, I understand people got personal choices, and that's cool, But at the end of the day, the NFL is a business as well, and they got a business to run. If you don't want to be a part of that business, just say that and sit it out. You know what I'm saying? You see what Kyrie doing? And the NBA said we acknowledge your personal beliefs, but we still have a business to run. I mean, it is what it is. If you want to get on the field, you're gonna have to go by the protocols. I mean, like that sucks to say, but it is what it is.
Are we shocked at all that the first person to get caught with a fake Max card is fucking Antonio Brown? I'm not.
I'm not surprised, and I'm also not shocked. So, no, probably not too much.
And it's funny because I was just talking about him like the day before it happened, about how I figured he had PP, and how he's gonna have been shit under wraps the last couple years, and then literally 12 hours later, I'm like, you stupid fuck.
So, as an unvaccinated player, you have to take a COVID test every day, even on off days, like even if you're not practicing and stuff like that. So, Aaron Rodgers did that, obviously, every day, but Antonio Brown, was not doing that. So, that's kind of the biggest problem, too. You're not vaxxed and you're still not following all the protocols you're supposed to. So it's kind of dangerous when you think about it. Let's see, what else? Any other news want to talk about? Adrian Peterson signing on with the Seattle Seahawks practice squad. So he pretty much went from a really good team with the Titans, or a much better team with the Titans, to a really shitty team with the Seahawks. Obviously, I'm not going to hate on the man for trying to get a check, but it's pretty rough to see, a player like this that's been so great in his career just end up in a situation like this. It's kind of like when you know that it's time for a guy to hang it up and they don't hang it up, and it kind of makes the situation look a lot worse. So yeah, that's the biggest thing with the Adrian Peterson situation. Also the Ben Roethlisberger situation, and I'll actually give Jordan the floor a little bit on that. Since we just saw a report that says that this is pretty much it for Big Ben after this season. Obviously, he doesn't even have the arm strength to get through a full game anymore. He's been looking pretty rough. He looks like he's 1,000 years old when he's out there. So yeah, I think this is the best thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so they can kind of figure out what they're going to do for the future. See what Mason can do for the rest of the year, see what Dwayne Haskins can do for the rest of the year, and then kind of evaluate their situation from there when the offseason comes. Are you going to draft the quarterback? Are you going to try to trade for Deshaun Watson? Are you going to try to trade for Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers or somebody that becomes available via trade? But I don't really know how the whole situation is going to play out with that. But Jordan, do you have any thoughts on Big Ben possibly retiring, and what do you think Pittsburgh should do from there?
You came back and we had to let guys walk.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna what the fuck? Or is the future? I'd say just their running back. Fix our other issues. Go from there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like with Pittsburgh, they really need to invest like with the offensive line. I'm pretty sure they lost 3 starting offensive linemen in the offseason, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Pouncey retired, so that was like a huge loss too. So you know what? If you're gonna start over and rebuild the team and get a young quarterback and build around a young quarterback, then what you got to do, you can't just have him coming into a shitty situation. Like look at with Trevor Lawrence. He has all the talent in the world, but he can't do anything with Jacksonville because Jacksonville has no weapons. They have no offensive line. They have like nothing for him. So you really want to build a good offensive line up, get a guy, probably sit him down for a couple years behind a veteran, and then go from there. That's what I would do if I was in the Steelers situation right now.
Yeah, with Adrian Peterson, as far as he goes, you're right. I'm not mad at the dude still trying to get his money. But at the same time, I kind of feel like he's like Ryan Fitzpatrick right now. He's ending up on like 10 teams and whatnot. But the man believes he still plays like 36, 37. But just having 8 carries for 12 yards really ain't doing you or the team any justice.
And Seattle looks like a total mess right now. They lost to Washington. Really ugly, low-scoring game on Monday night. This is it. Like, you can kind of see it in his eyes. Like, Russell Wilson is done with the Seattle Seahawks. I don't know what team he's going to go to. Whatever team gives Seattle really what they're looking for. Obviously, Seattle's going to, they're definitely going to want something really good in return for a quarterback like Russell. So, I really don't know which team is going to be the team that, really goes all in and tries to get a quarterback. But a lot of these quarterbacks, they're going to be... Yeah, it's going to be Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers mainly, and then Deshaun Watson with his ongoing situation. Once that kind of passes by, then we're kind of figure out where he's going to end up. A lot of these guys are just going to be on different teams next year.
It's going to be a fascinating offseason. San Francisco, if they were smart, would be trying to trade. They should be trying to talk Seattle into trade land, and then also trade Jimmy Garoppolo to someone else.
No, I don't think that's what. I don't think that San Fran would deal with them just because they're in their own division. But I could see Aaron Rodgers. I could see Aaron Rodgers in San Francisco for the last few years that he has left, mentor Trey Lance. But at the same time, they gave up a lot to go up and get Trey Lance. So if you do that, are you really just going to sit the guy for that long? But is Aaron Rodgers we're talking about? I don't really know. I couldn't really tell you. But yeah, it just Seattle's just a terrible team right now. DK Metcalf, the guy that they said is the next Megatron, he's really not doing anything. Their offense looks stagnant. It looks like it feels like this is it for Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. They might just go in a completely different direction and get a new coach as well.
I think they might fire Pete Carroll and beg Russell Wilson to stay. But I don't think it'll work.
Not gonna happen. Yeah, that team is just nowhere close to being what they once were back in 2013, 2014 when they went to 2 Super Bowls back to back.
It's not just a Pete Carroll problem anymore.
That whole team is abysmal. So I think he's going to end up in a place that gives him. I think he's going to end up in a place that gives him a better chance to win.
He's going to want to go to a contender. Wilson, if he leaves Seattle, he's definitely going to want to go to a contender. Also, there's the entire possibility that the Seahawks could fire Pete Carroll in favor of Russell Wilson, and Wilson may still say, "I'm leaving."
Yeah, I really don't think he cares at this point. I think he's just gonna he's gonna be done.
I think he's tired of airing his grievances at this point. He's campaign for an O-line now for how many years? The last 3-4 years?
Yep. And they really haven't done much.
Depending on we're not going to. Outside of signing Dwayne Brown, it's like okay, we don't need to invest in an offensive line because Russell Wilson can always bail us out and make a play. But he's tired of running for his life. You know what I mean? So Wilson's going to get tired of that. He's going to want out, and then the Seahawks are going to win.
He's going to want to play on a team that has a really good offensive line.
Of course. And just go with better weapons as well.
Gotcha. So I guess that's pretty much it with that. So Thanksgiving, I know we didn't talk about like some of those games that happened, but it's been a while. Dallas kind of like they looked really bad against the Raiders. They kind of bounced back against the Saints this week though. So I kind of like I really don't see Dallas as a team that's going to be up there with like Green Bay, Tampa Bay, all those kind of teams like that are really good in the NFC. For me, like their ceiling is they'll probably go to the divisional round. They'll probably lose in the divisional round. That's pretty much it.
That's Dallas.
Dak has not been looking good for the past several weeks. Even when they've been still winning games. You know, Dak he's just not making the plays that he needs to make. Like, you are making a high salary, and you're throwing the ball in the dirt when guys are wide open. Like on that last crucial drive in overtime. Like, this is why they pay you this amount of money to make plays like this in these crucial situations. So, for Dak, whatever slump that he's in, he has to get out of it, or the Cowboys need to kind of change what they do on offense. Because what has made them really successful is running the ball, having a really balanced attack. Anytime you make Dak throw the ball 35, 40 times, pretty much not going to win a lot of games that way. That's not the way you're going to win. Because Dak is not that type of quarterback. So I think that the Cowboys are struggling, and they kind of need to figure their shit out fast because there's only a few weeks left in the regular season.
Right. And with that being said, first of all, as far as Thanksgiving goes, everybody knows that in recent years, Cowboys have not had that much luck on Thanksgiving. And this was a classic slip-up game for the Cowboys. So the fact that they lost to the Raiders actually doesn't surprise me any. Now, they did bounce back against the Saints. However, one thing stood out to me, and that is you only beat a severely depleted and injured Saints team by 10 points. Everyone that's been on news, they should have won by 21 or more.
Yeah, and the biggest thing about that game is the Cowboys they were up by 10 for a while. Like they were up by 10 like early in the fourth quarter, and they kept throwing the ball. So the Saints they kept getting more opportunities to get back in the game. The only reason why they weren't able to do anything is because of Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is a tight end playing like that Sean Payton assist playing at quarterback. He's not a quarterback. He's never going to be an NFL quarterback. He's a gadget guy. If you line him up in Wildcat, he'll probably break off a big run here and there. But this guy is not going to be a consistent quarterback in the NFL. Honestly, you would have probably had a better chance to win if you had Trevor Siemian in the game.
Probably. Considering he had beat Dallas before.
Yeah.
But also, and one more thing as far as this is, I may be alone in this one, but screw it, I'm just gonna say it. I think it's about time to start campaigning for Troy Pollard to start. Now we all know that Zeke's getting paid too much money. It's not gonna happen. So
exactly.
What should happen is they split carries. Literally. Give Zeke 8 to 10 carries and then throw screens to him.
If you're just saying from the standpoint of Tony Pollard is better than Zeke is right now, I agree with you. But since they have $90 million tied into Zeke, he is going to be on the field the majority of the time. Even if he's not the best player.
Of course. Even before Zeke got up, Pollard was playing better.
Pollard is he's very explosive, he's patient, he's got good vision. You know, he reads the blocks and finds the holes, and then, you know, he can take it. He can take it all the way to the house. He's very fast with the ball in his hands. So, yeah, obviously he's a better player than Zeke right now. But the problem is Jerry Jones overpaying Zeke. Yeah, it's like Dom always says. He loves the big deal. He loves overpaying like a lot of positions. That's pretty much the way it's always been.
He's Hollywood. That's the way it's always been. And let me tell you something. Jerry Jones is an old white man with money. They never change their ways. They never change their ways. He is a product of like the 80s, the 70s, the 60s. That whenever there's a problem, just throw money at it. Throw money at it and see if it works. If it doesn't work, do it again. If it works, do it again. Jerry Jones never learns. He never ever learns. All right, he's stubborn and he's old, and it ain't gonna change until he goes away. And then every single Dallas Cowboy fan know and realize that. Sorry to bring tears to you on this lovely Saturday evening. That's the way it is.
Yeah, and you know, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on all of that. So let's go ahead and transition to like some of the games that we're excited to see this week. So number one, Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. Now, I talked about how the Cowboys have kind of been struggling and stuff. The Saints were not that good of a team, but it's kind of a team that you expect Dallas to beat. It's kind of the same thing with the Bills. The Bills did the same thing on Thanksgiving, but prior to that, when was the last time that the Buffalo Bills really looked like the dominant team from last year? You know, Josh Allen has kind of been up and down at times during the game. He's that type of quarterback that he wows you with all the plays that he makes, but there's usually like one play during the game where you look at Josh Allen and you're like, what the hell are you doing, bro? Like, he just makes that one type of boneheaded interception. So, this is a big fucking game right now. You know, the New England Patriots are in control of the AFC East. They're in first place. If they beat the Bills, then they're going to be even more in control, and they're going to play them again. I believe like 2 weeks from now, they're going to play them in New England. So this is a time of year where Bill Belichick really starts to figure stuff out, puts players in a better position to be successful. This defense of theirs has been dominating this entire season. Well, not this entire season, but pretty much for the last 5-6 weeks. They're only giving up like 10 points a game or something. It's something crazy. Like the Titans only scored 13. They're shutting down all these offenses. They're looking great on the defensive side of the ball. Mac Jones is taking care of the ball. He's not turning it over. So I feel like this is the Patriots' game to lose, if you're asking me. And I think the Patriots are going to win this week.
Dan.
To answer your question, week 5 against the Chiefs. However, I give about as much credit to the Bills beating the Chiefs in week 5 as I do Dallas defeating.
Well, the Chiefs were looking terrible
earlier in the season.
Back then.
And the Patriots were at. The Cowboys fans that went over New England, that was not this week's New England team. Not even close. It's like the Chiefs look much better.
The Patriots right now, to me, the Patriots are the most dangerous team going into the playoffs. If they continue to play like this, none of the teams are going to want to see them. I don't care who it is.
Right. Whereas the Rams are the team that everyone wants to play in the playoffs.
The Pats and the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't even think the Ravens would want to see that. I don't think anyone wants to see them at this point. If you're asking me.
I think the Ravens are kind of fraudulent. I'm not sold. Not by a long shot. It's not just because of Lamar Jackson.
It's because of Lamar Jackson, or it's not just because of
Lamar. It's entirely because of Lamar Jackson. He's taken some steps forward this year. In my mind. He's just not where he needs to be if they think they're going to make it out of the conference. Plus all the injuries.
Yeah. Well, I don't really know, man. The AFC is harder to it's harder for me to pinpoint what's going to happen with the AFC. That's why I say the Patriots are probably the most dangerous team, because I think the Patriots can probably take advantage of all these teams not saying, you know what, I'm taking over, I'm the top dog in the AFC. But we see right now, Green Bay Packers are pretty much doing that in the NFC. Tampa is still really dominating too. The Rams are really struggling though, and the Cowboys are kind of struggling. But there's no definitive team in the AFC. You know, there's a lot of teams who could probably see being successful at that point, but it's a lot harder for me to say. That's why I say the Patriots continue to do what they're doing right now. They can beat anybody in the AFC.
It's like the hardest.
And I think that's kind of a big thing with Bill Belichick also. You know, obviously last year with Tampa winning, you know, obviously the whole talks were about, you know, Tom is proving he doesn't need Bill Belichick and all this other stuff. So if the Patriots are really successful, then at some point during the playoffs, depending on how far they go, we might have a discussion about, you know, how Bill Belichick is doing without Tom Brady with the rookie quarterback.
Right. And I mean, what if the Patriots indeed won a Super Bowl, and now the debate is back up again of who's responsible for the Patriots dynasty?
Why would you even?
I'll throw you another one. What if the Buccaneers and the Patriots met in the Super Bowl?
That's a very real possibility.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Check it while shaking hands.
Yeah, and Dom, you really wouldn't know what to do with yourself because you hate Mac Jones and you hate Tom Brady.
I don't hate Mac Jones.
You give Mac Jones no credit. You give him no credit.
McCorkle? Why should I? Is he winning?
He's decent. He's decent.
I put him at more than decent.
He's a good game manager.
He's got a good arm.
With a great defense.
He can put some juice on some of these throws, man.
I mean, he has
so 8 yards downfield.
Hold on. The Patriots are what? 8-4, 8-3?
8-4.
Okay. Now with that same defense, but replace Matt Jones with Jarrett Stidham, what's the Patriots' record?
Not 8-4. Probably, I don't know. Probably 5-7.
Better than Jarrett Stidham.
Probably 4-8. 4-8, probably.
Curable cancer. We're to the penis cancer argument. Cancer.
If you replace him with Brian Hoyer, are they 8-4?
Fuck no. Brian Hoyer.
That's why I give Mac Jones a lot of credit.
Right now?
Mac Jones is running.
I'm comparing him to someone more like Case Keenum. Tua. Maybe Dak. I think Dak's better. Tua. Case Keenum. Fitzpatrick. All would have roughly the same amount of wins. 7. Maybe not Fitzpatrick. Tua. Sure.
To me, Mac is he's more like a better Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that's the reason why Bill Belichick drafted Jimmy G. He wanted him to be the replacement for Tom Brady because he knew that Jimmy G wasn't a great quarterback, but he was a guy that could really run the Patriot system at a really high level. You know, that's why a lot of people before the draft, a lot of people thought Jimmy was going to go back to New England before the draft because after the 49ers traded up and everything, that's pretty much what everyone thought. But they drafted Mac Jones, who was kind of a better version of Jimmy G. He runs a system, but he's probably got better arm strength. I think he can put a lot of juice on these throws. And he's just really catching on to the game really fast.
He just complete a number of passes, and he doesn't turn it over.
He's really catching on to the system with them. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on that. Next game I want to talk about though is the Chargers and the Bengals. This is a huge huge game this week that I think a lot of people are like kind of not put as much emphasis on. But this is huge for the playoff race right now. The Chargers are kind of struggling right now. They're 6-5. This is a must-win game for the Chargers because they're going to fall to 6-6 if they lose. And Cincinnati's going to have more tiebreakers on them, on top of being 2 games ahead of them. Cincinnati will be 8-4 with a win. So I think Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow are 2 really good young quarterbacks right now. They're 2 of the most fun to watch, but we're gonna see this week, man. These are the big type of games where you see these young quarterbacks and you're like, yeah, these are the guys that I can like. These guys can take me anywhere I want to go. Cincinnati's at home though. Chargers defense has kind of been playing like Swiss cheese. Not just for the past couple weeks, but a lot during the season. Even the Browns scored like 40 on them early on in the season too. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bengals to win this one.
I think that the Bengals take this one because it has, and don't get me wrong, I mean, Keenan Allen is still Keenan Allen.
Yep.
We saw Austin Eckler have a beast game like, not 2 weeks ago? But I don't think they have the defense to keep up with. Burrow's a bad motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
He is.
And nobody thought that the Bengals would take this big a step in 21 as compared to last year. It really makes you wonder what if he didn't get injured last year. You know what I mean? But he took that time out of his rehab and to study more and everything. You seeing Burrow come out on fire. I'm with you. I like the Bengals in this one. I'm not going to sit here and say that the Chargers are being exposed per se, but I just think the Bengals are that much better of a team. I got them winning by 10. I say Bengals 31-21.
I have the Bengals as well. Cannot underestimate I shouldn't say underestimate. Undervalue how well Joe Mixon has been playing the last 4 or 5 weeks. Killing it. And Justin Herbert to me is kind of an up and down year. I won't say he's taken a step back. I would say a half a step. And Burrow has caught him and is on the verge of passing him. And I mean, this is the Chargers.
I think if you're asking me, I would rather build my team around Burrow.
Me too.
For Burrow, like, I think their talent level is pretty like close with each other. But Burrow is just a dog. Like he just has like that it factor to him. I'm not saying Justin doesn't have it, but he just has like that mentality. Like this guy is just a winning quarterback. He's gonna be a winning quarterback for his career. You know, he's kind of got like that Aaron Rodgers, that Tom Brady kind of like a mindset. I think it's more just like a mindset that he has. Like, you know, he puts everything on the line, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm a big Joe Burrow fan.
I was bummed last year when he got hurt. I wanted to see that. I wanted to see 16 games from him as well as Herbert. Burrow was just starting to get hot. I hope they invest in their O-line because I don't want to see him turn into Carson Palmer. Right. Carson Palmer was sweet, and then his knee exploded. And he continued to be above average well into his 30s.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, I mean, he was almost an MVP candidate with the Cardinals.
Resurrected his career in Arizona, as older quarterbacks like to do.
And people totally forgot he was a Raider because at the time they were the Raiders. Just like people forgot Randy Moss was a Raider because at the time they were the Raiders. They weren't today's Raiders, you know. But I wanted to actually get y'all thoughts about something that could be a real quick answer, and then we can move on to the next topic. And it's also thought-provoking for the viewers as well. Is as far as wide receivers, where do you have Jamar Chase ranked in the division?
In the division? So, what we got? Deontay Johnson with the Steelers. There's Chase Claypool. There's Hollywood. There's Tyler Boyd. There's Jarvis Landry. I don't think it's far. I don't think it would be that far fetched to say he's the best receiver in the division.
If not top 5, right?
Based off of how he's played, yeah.
Right. Where you got him, Don?
In the division, I would probably if he's not one, I'm not even sure who would be. He's not.
It's probably him. It's probably him, Hollywood, Deontay.
I think Deontay Johnson,
Jarvis Landry, and then somebody, and then somebody like Claypool.
I would have Jamar as either one or one alpha, and that can switch out week to week. Because I mean, like if Lamar has himself a game with Hollywood, it could be him. Baker getting the ball.
Hollywood's gotten a lot better.
But I mean, I just feel that Jamar is the more consistent one out of everybody right now, as of right now. So right now, I got a one.
And the only reason he's not putting up 100 yards a week the last few weeks.
I mean, these rookie wide receivers have all been really good.
Impressive.
Devontae Smith has been really good. Jamar's been really good. Waddle's been really good. Bateman is really good. This is a solid draft class for wide receivers. All right, speaking of like Steelers, Ravens, they're playing this week. Another big game. Obviously, the Ravens overcame Lamar Jackson, throwing like 4 interceptions. So obviously, Lamar said that he definitely doesn't want to do that again. So we're going to look for him to have a much better game this week. Meanwhile, on the Steelers, man, just with their whole quarterback situation with Penn, like we were saying earlier, the guy just looks like he's 1,000 years old when he's going out there. He clearly can't put the juice on the ball to put the ball where it needs to be during the game. So unless they have the balls to just say, look, like, Ben, you did a lot of things for the franchise. Obviously, like, they won the Super Bowl with him, 2 Super Bowls with him.
Because of him either time.
So, yeah, but that's besides the point. So, you want to know something, man? Like, you don't give us the best chance to win right now. Not that the other guys really give us a great chance either. But you know what we're going to do? Like, we're going to sit you down. We're going to sit you down. I don't think the Steelers have the balls to do that. And until they do, I think that Ben is going to continue to hold them back. Their defense is great. I saw that they activated T.J. Watt. He could be back for this game. And definitely need him for chasing down Lamar. But you know what, man? I got the Ravens winning this one. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I don't really think it's going to be close. Give me Ravens by 10.
I think that before anybody else goes, I do have because we were talking about Garoppolo earlier. What do you think of a trade of Garoppolo to the Steelers to at least hold them over until they get their quarterback in the future?
I think that if the Steelers drafted a quarterback, getting a veteran like to come in for a couple of years, that would be the way to go.
Because we all talked about it several times, how nobody's high on the draft class coming out next year.
No. I mean, the only guy that I could see being an okay starter is probably Matt Corral. After that, like, nah. Like,
he's the best of the worst.
Dude, if I was Jordo, bro, if I was the Steelers, I'd be looking at Garoppolo.
Or Tyrod Taylor. Or Teddy Two Gloves.
But as far as the game goes,
I'll be looking at literally anyone that's not Ben Roethlisberger.
Or Mason Rudolph. Or is Hodgins still on the squad? Wait, no, he's not.
Haskins is like the third stringer.
You said Hodges.
Duck Hodges, yeah. What about what's his name? The rocket scientist, Josh Dobbs.
Dobby.
Bro, that dude is so fucking ugly, but he's apparently he majored in he's like a super smart rocket scientist. He's got some crazy degree or something.
That's what they said about Matt Patricia.
Well, apparently that's definitely not
Last time I saw Matt Patricia, he was pushing a mop bucket.
Yeah, a.k.a. Matt Patricia, the guy who said Darius Slay's not that good, even though he's been one of the best corners this year, but none of my business.
We should have fired Patricia after one game.
That's what he said. Like, there's this whole big thing that came out, like, a bunch of things that Matt Patricia said. He said something like, Darius Slay, you think, like, he was showing them film of, like, Stephon Gilmore or somebody, and he was like, you see this? Like, this is what a really good corner looks like. Like, you're not a good corner. That's what he said.
They should have itemized by the Jets on Monday Night Football Week 1. His first year coaching. I'd have been like,
yeah, Matt Patricia's a fucking idiot. I know we kind of got off topic, but that's what I would do if I was the Steelers. I'll probably bring in a vet and then figure out my young quarterback situation for the future. Bring in a young quarterback and just kind of like try to develop him for a couple years, and then go from there.
They're going Homer and Justin Ham's Pickett. It's happening.
Matt Patricia said that about Darius Slay. That reminds me of when Lane Kiffin told Alshon Jeffrey when trying to recruit him to Tennessee that if you don't come to Tennessee, you'll be washing windows for the rest of your life. James, how did that turn out for him?
Man, Jeffrey was really good. Like when he was young. When he was in his first few years with the Bears, he was kind of being overshadowed by Brandon Marshall, but he was still playing really well. When he came to Philly, he was actually a big part of why we won the Super Bowl because he made some big catches for us. But after that, he started being injury prone and he really fell off.
What's he even doing right now?
He's doing nothing. Nothing.
Is he in a roster?
No.
He's out of the league.
Collecting a paycheck?
Not from the NFL.
Wow.
Unless he officially retired.
He didn't retire. He's just, no one wants him because he doesn't really.
He's not even that old.
He really fell off. He's kind of like Des Bryant.
He's old.
It's kind of like with Des Bryant. Des Bryant was like a big physical jump ball type receiver, just like Alshon Jeffrey is. But once Des like lost some of his athletic ability, he didn't really have that much to offer anymore.
31. That sucks. I like Alshon Jeffrey.
But yeah, Darius Slay's been fucking balling this year, man. I'm really impressed.
Bounce back season.
The Ravens are going to run.
The Ravens are going to run all over you guys.
I feel the same.
Hasn't your defense been good though?
Not the run defense.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 20.
Damn, that's
21, 22
that's so weird to me because like the Steelers have good defensive linemen. Well, I haven't really been watching like keeping up with Hayward and like they have Hayward. They also have TJ. Like they should be able to stop the fucking run. It's just like I think Devin Bush hasn't been good.
Their linebackers are not very good.
Their linebackers are shitty.
Devin Bush is a Michigan.
I thought Devin Bush was gonna be sweet.
He was.
And then he kind of just fell off.
He's going to be drafted in the first round. Coming from
the Steelers traded up to get him. They traded up to the 10th pick.
Came from an average defense in the Big Ten. That's why I'm terrified of Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson's sweet. That guy's gonna be good. I am worried about him. No, the Lions are probably gonna draft they're gonna draft Kayvon.
They fucking better not.
It's either Kayvon or Matt Corral, bro.
We're not taking Corral.
Come on, man.
Somewhere in the teen.
Hashtag Golden Corral, baby.
Golden Corral.
Maybe he's the next Eli Manning. Probably not though. I mean, we typically do love players, more so defensive players, but also offensive players. From the second-tier SEC schools.
Okay, then if you're Detroit, and you have the first pick, then who are you going to draft then?
I'm not. I'm going to trade it to you. For your two picks. Or the Giants.
We don't fucking want that.
Sure you do.
We're good. Like, we don't.
You want Thibodeau. Or Hutchinson. Sure you do. Get on the phone. I know you and your Jeep are very close.
No, if we were close, trust me, something would have happened by now.
If we were close, my hands would be around his neck.
If we were close, I would probably punch him in the fucking nose.
I don't blame you.
Nah, I fucking hate this guy. He drafted fucking Jalen Rager.
Does anyone in the NFC East have a competent general manager? I say no.
There's Jerry Jones.
No.
There's Howie.
Cody.
Gettleman. Fuck no. Gettleman's only one of the few people I think is worse than Howie.
He's terrible.
Gettleman.
And then I forget who Washington has.
They're all taking orders.
Fucking Daniel Snyder's the biggest scumbag ever, though.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess we'll talk about sports morons now. There's probably like a shit ton. I feel like I always forget like some of these sports morons just because there's so many. Does anybody want to start us off?
It's Anthony.
Big Ben.
It's AB.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I thought AB would get some nominations. I'm going with fucking Jalen Rager, bro. I hate this fucking guy so much.
Actually,
how the fuck do you drop 2 game-winning touchdowns on the same fucking drive?
Easy.
This guy fucking sucks. Like, this guy doesn't do anything good.
He's been watching Nelson Aguilar film.
That's disrespectful to Nelson Aguilar. He was actually good the year that we won the Super Bowl. He played good that year.
I don't think Rager is as bad as he was the other day.
Yes, he is.
However,
you know what? You're right. He's not as bad. He's not as bad as he was the other day. He's even worse. Nah, bro. I really fucking I don't think it's been probably a long time since I hated an Eagles player as much as I hate Jalen Rager. Probably like Nnamdi Asomugha, Byron Maxwell, like those type of guys. Like he's getting up there with all of them. And it's not even the fact that they took him over Jefferson. It's not even that because he can't. It's not his fault that they did that. You can't control where you get drafted, but you can't control how you fucking play.
That's all about Eric Ebron. Well, guess what? Eric Ebron fucking sucked. And I trolled him. And he has never been heard from since.
He was good. He had one good year with Andrew Luck. Like Andrew Luck really.
His uniform. I remember that.
He carried him, and after that, he went back to being trash.
Now he's a Steeler.
Yeah, and he's also trash.
He's a number 2 tight end. I guess.
I'm surprised he's still in the fucking league, bro. Like, I think he's gonna be donezo pretty soon. Next couple years, maybe.
Probably like 2 more years.
Can't drop the good.
He had posted when he said Facebook page. He posted a picture of him holding his newborn son. And I was like, wow, Eric, hope you do a better job hanging than you do a football. Bro. And he deactivated his Facebook page.
Oh man.
The only person that said that. And there was other people that said much worse things. And there was white people dropping him. And I was like, whoa, I'm not here for that.
Yeah. It's good. I know he may not be weak, but you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna say he is sports moron of the week, and that is how he rolls. Because how the hell do you pass up on those dudes for a guy that dropped 2 game-winning wide open touchdown passes? Not to mention
on the same drive.
On the On the same drive. Not to mention, you picked a receiver from a middle of the pack Big 12 school over a receiver who did the damage he did
against the best competition at the highest level.
In the best offense in college football history. Arguably.
Even if the Eagles make the playoffs, fire. Yes,
it's not going to be because of him. It's not going to be because of Rager or anybody like that. Like, honestly, what if I told you the Eagles receiving core right now could be Devontae Smith, Justin Jefferson, and Justin Jefferson? Like, those are your two guys that you build the whole team around.
Yeah.
But you took a fucking punt returner.
If you had Justin Jefferson,
I think we probably still would have, just because we missed on Rager. So we're probably gonna go after another wide receiver in the offseason. We're probably gonna try to sign somebody. I could see us going after somebody like Gallup. I could see us going after like Mike Williams or someone like that. Or we're probably gonna draft another one.
y'all are gonna sign Juju.
Man, see if y'all.
We tried to sign Juju. We tried to sign Juju in the offseason. He didn't want to come, so whew, I was sweating bullets.
He does everybody.
Is he a free agent after this year?
He was a free agent last year. He signed like a one-year deal to go back.
Yeah.
He'll probably go back to the Steelers again. But I don't know.
Even Cedric Wilson for the Cowboys is better than Reagan.
Oh yeah, something. Speaking of, like, we were talking about Darius Slay earlier. He was on some podcast or something, and he was saying how, like, if the Cowboys tried to trade for him, he would have never went there because they robbed the Lions in the playoffs. So he hated them so bad for that even if Dallas was like, we want big play Slay, he would have been like, nah.
He's right. They did rob the Lions.
More so around us was Matt Stafford's second half performance. That one play could lose us the game. Was it a momentum killer? Yes. Was it
that play, you guys probably would have won if that never happened, though.
Man, they can't.
We're the Lions. Figure out a way to screw it up.
Yeah.
Although the last time we played Dallas in the playoffs.
I can't remember what it was. Like, even Stu got called for something. And as much as a player as he's not that guy anymore. But as much as a player as he used to be with Detroit, even I was like, yo, he was innocent on that play.
You develop that reputation, you get better at everybody.
Screw the Lions.
Especially in a Lions uniform. Like the conspiracy, it's a big conspiracy. It's a real thing.
Yeah, so hold on. I'm about to pull up the clip I was talking about.
The other sports moron is the Dallas coaching and training staff for letting one-legged Zeke Elliott play this past week.
Mm-hmm. This would have been, and you know what? This would have been the game to sit Zeke because they were playing to defeat the Saints. Start Pollard.
Much like the Browns should have said Mayfield last week because they got to buy this week.
And start Keenum.
They're the same dude.
Right, that Steelers
been a part of the organization for quite some time. They're in Philly, 2 years to be exact, right? 2 years in Philly. You've been around the city a lot. So when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles fan base, who do they hate more? The Giants or the Cowboys?
Boy, it's so hard to determine, but I guarantee it's the Cowboys. They can't stand them boys.
They can't stand the Cowboys?
They can't stand them boys. Look, I don't think they can stand any other team but theirs. They probably can't stand them sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, for you then, as a player, being a part of the organization, who you hate more, the Giants or the Cowboys?
I hate the Cowboys, and they cheated us in the playoffs in 2014.
Oh.
When Dez Bryant ran up on the field, pulled the flag, they cheated us.
Yeah, you already had some bad blood before you became a Philadelphia Eagle.
Yeah, and Dallas, I heard Dallas had wanted to trade for me. I said, nah, I ain't going there.
Oh, you told Dallas no?
I'm just saying because I heard about it. I told him.
Oh.
Yeah, I said, nah, I ain't going there.
So they wanted to, you wouldn't accept that trade if they wanted to trade for you?
No, I wouldn't go to Dallas.
That's a first.
Yeah, I couldn't stand them. They cheated us.
Whoa, boy, that runs deep right there, Slay.
It runs deep. Runs deep.
Yeah, you right there with the homegrown Philadelphia Eagle fans when it comes to that element. Man, Slay said I would have told Jared, no. I don't want to go there.
Wow.
There you have it.
That was some of the most intelligible commentary I've ever heard from Darius Slay.
Anybody else has anything else to say? Thanks everybody for popping in. Thanks for the donation.
The thing about Slay is he's really fucking funny. Like some of his interviews, he's just like really personable. He just really doesn't care too much what people think about him. He was talking about when DK Metcalf cooked him last year. He was like, man, like I just saw this guy standing there and I was like, man, that's a big motherfucker. Alright, but non-sports topics, you guys got any for today?
They fired Chris Como. If he would have been affiliated with sports, he would have been my sports corner. Dude, how the hell?
Oh shit! I think I fucking got one too.
It's like, how the hell do you? I get it. You were trying to look out for family. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for looking out for family. But this one, he really should have told him, like, dude, you're on your own. You 100% gonna lose this one. I'm not risking my livelihood for someone that's obviously guilty. You know what I mean? And it's essentially a double-edged sword because not only did he lose his job at CNN, but he's also risking being disbarred as a lawyer. Like you really risk all that for a dude that 100% was guilty of all the sexual assault stuff that he was doing and all that. Come on, man. Like you really should have known better than that, brother or not.
Yeah, that's definitely.
So yeah, he definitely stepped in shit both feet.
So did you guys see the clip of Deion Sanders? Obviously, like he's the head coach for Jackson State football. He actually brought in Brittany Renner, the girl that like convinced PJ Washington from the Charlotte Hornets to like basically knock her up, have a baby, so he will be stuck paying like millions of dollars for child support. So he brought her in as like a guest speaker and made an example of her as like, this is why you need to stay away from these women on social media.
What are you saying?
Hold on, I'm about to play the clip for you guys.
I just never heard about this.
This shit was hilarious. Shout out to K-Fu, because K-Fu's the one that pointed it out to me.
Nice.
So my name is Brittany Renner, aka Bundle of Brittany on Instagram. I have been on social media from
Got the notebook out.
And that's how the game starts with the phone. Right? They go on Instagram and they see you. And what happens? They try to get off in the DMs. And kind of take us on a journey of how this is played out.
I mean, honey, like, I feel like my DMs, it's like a Nike store. There's nothing but check. So it just, for me, I feel like when...
They missed that game.
Nothing but blue checks.
They missed that game right there. She says like a Nike store.
It's like a Nike store. There's nothing but blue checks. So honestly, when you reach a certain status, you can have the pick of the litter. So for me,
man, this bitch is so fucked up.
Blue checks.
I'm talking heavy hitters. some of y'all's favorite rappers, NBA players, football players. It's like, to me, once you reach that level just of popularity, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. And for me, my whole journey on here, I felt like my life almost felt like I was in Disney World, like I lived in Disney World. Like,
this bitch is devious.
You get privilege, like people just want to be next to you. They don't even see you as human anymore. And you can either, use it to your advantage.
I want to put my hands on her.
And
in a sexual way.
A lot of guys who are in my DM, you're in my DM because I'm Brittany Renner. So naturally, if you play a sport, it's kind of like, well, that's an incentive to talk to you. A lot of times, women, men in general, everybody wants something.
Thank you.
Everybody wants something. So it's like, even if we both have our own thing going on, me still being with you is a good look because you boost my stock. Just like you boost my, you know what I'm saying? Like, I boost your stock. It's just that simple. It's kind of like a give and take, but you have to be aware of what you're signing up for. You want to make it to the NFL, and it's kind of like, you do understand there's a lot that comes with that, right? There's gonna, to be able to decipher who really loves you for you, I think that's like the $1 billion question we're all wanting to know.
This is how the game is played. Please know that. We're putting you up on the game because some of y'all gonna make it. I hope and pray all of y'all make it, even if you make it in the business world. That's a whole nother category of game. In that world too, they just dress it up a little different.
Yeah.
The game is the same. The only thing changes your names. That's some stuff I just said right now.
You are useful, and it's better to be useful than useless. So you just have to have that understanding that, okay, I have something to offer, whether that's financial, status-wise, whatever. And people do see that as a bonus to be with you. There's nothing wrong with that because both of you can have stuff going on, but you just have to be aware nobody is just here for nothing. It's just about figuring out who could be there during the times of adversity. And you would only
She just used
through
the word useful as a euphemism for a vagina and a semi-attractive face.
Certain things you're gonna have to just see for yourself.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, this bitch is fucking devious. Yeah, that was funny to me just because he brought her in specifically to make an example. To stay away from women like this. Like, primetime Deion Sanders. This guy's a legend.
I wonder if he ends up coaching in the NFL eventually.
I remember, this actually reminds me of when Michael Irvin sat inside of he was in a big auditorium full of dudes that had just got drafted in the NFL and whatnot. He had a talk with them about how to conduct themselves and how to better manage their money and don't get in trouble. And he was saying, man, I wish somebody would have sat us in the room and talked to us when we first got drafted like that. Nobody did. Y'all see what I did? I mean, I won games and won championships without falling out, But I'm here giving the game to y'all, on how to conduct yourselves so y'all don't get in trouble and whatnot. You gotta think, Irvin and Deion came out in the same era. So nobody sat down with Deion.
They didn't have a rookie supposing back then.
And he's the guy that could potentially get drafted. Not ones that have been in the league just yet. So let's put him on game early, That's commendable. Because there are rattlesnakes in this world. But you're gonna have to see when they shake that rattle on their tail. Obviously, the father of her baby didn't, and that's what you get.
Yeah.
In this world, you get what you pay for. Period.
Mike Vick, of all people, was in Metro Detroit this week talking to, I don't know if it was high school or college students, but about the importance of your credit score. And I was like,
Yeah, guys, kind of crazy, but it's kind of like the same thing with Herm Edwards when he was coaching with the Jets. He sat down with the team and he was like telling them about the dangers of social media. This was like a long time ago. This is like 10, 15 years ago. He's basically like, look, guys, don't press send. Like, and this was before social media got as big as it is right now. So if you have like that status, you gotta be careful what you're doing all the time, or you're gonna set yourself up for failure, pretty much. So that's pretty much what I got. You guys want to give any shout outs before we get off?
Twitter, NettingNail13, NELI13. Also, I'm on the NBA Carousel on Monday nights. I'm the Houston Rockets representative. That's hosted by Megan Price and produced by JP Ellis. Also, you can find me on the Sip Off on Thursday nights at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, right here on the Sports Gauntlet, now at the new time of 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. Visual Dramatics Productions on Roku. Check me out. Shout out Craig Hill, Marshall Davis. Craig Davis, Marshall Hill, my Uncle Bishop Kings fam. One love. I'll see y'all next week.
See you next week.
Not shouting out
anyone.
Jordan?
All right. Shout out to Tyler Ingram. Partying it up tonight. So Tyler, when you get to watch this episode, we missed having you and your cheesehead in the background and everything. Hopefully you take it off the wall someday. Wear it to the Christmas party maybe. But in the meantime, Jordan, we really appreciate you taking Tyler's spot and really doing a good job filling in for him as a host. That was big time. We're obviously moving the time now, so we're gonna do it on Saturday nights. Big stuff for football this week. Hope you guys all enjoy all the games and everything. And we'll see you guys next time. All right.
Also, Cage Rangers on Facebook.
And Cage Rangers. Almost forgot about that. Cage Rangers, Sip Off, Gauntlet, all the good stuff.